Okay, well, here we go. What do you do with bad or rotten bananas? You make banana bread. So, Grandma's old-fashioned recipe for banana bread. Now, as you see, there are 6 bananas here. So, we're going to double this recipe because the recipe calls for 3 bananas. So since I have 6 of them, and I literally let them sit here and get bad for this reason, we're going to double it. So I'm going to double the recipe and use all 6 of the bananas. And the recipe, when you read through it, it says that you have to mix the ingredients in order. So I'm going to rattle this off for you, and then we're going to mix it. And by the way, Mr. Google Pants said this is the gizmo that we need to use in our fancy dancy kitchen aid, I guess, gizmo. This is the new gizmo that Ben got for Christmas, or on the Black Friday sale, but it was for Christmas. Make sure that's in there. Okay, so for 1 loaf of banana bread, it calls for 1 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of shortening, aka butter, 2 eggs, 3 seasoned smashed bananas, a pinch of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 a teaspoon of baking powder, 1 3/4 cup of flour. Mix in order and bake in bake it slow, bake in an oven at 350 for 1 hour. And use the standard bread size pan. So, that's what we're going to do. So the first thing we're going to do, I already got all my measuring cups. I've let the butter sit out to get soft. It's been sitting out for 2 days. And you want soft butter. You don't want to have to try and mix it with hard butter. It really just doesn't work as well. So we need 1 cup of sugar. So we're going to go over here and I'll show you. I got this set up here. There's my butter, my baking soda. Baking powder is right there on the shelf. And all the other ingredients are over here with the jug of water I'm filtering. So, flour, sugar, salt, eggs. Okay, so we need 1 cup of sugar. I'm going to grab this sugar, and these are wonky containers. I really don't like these containers. The lids don't like to stay on. We got some new containers for the crackers so they don't go stale. These are just cheap, generic containers. The lid just doesn't stay on, even with the spoon out of there. I think we got these at the dollar store. So I'm going to put you down and just remove this because it doesn't sit on there nicely. Take this wonky spoon out and scoop out 1 cup of sugar. Now the good thing about these containers is you can get level cups because you fill it to the top and it's a level cup. So 1 cup of sugar. Since we're doubling the recipe because I have 6 bananas, I'm going to go ahead and scoop up, come on, 2 cups, because there's 6 bananas, remember. Now we're going to stuff this in. Here you can actually see that the spoon is in there, and it's way down here, but this thing just doesn't latch. It never has. Yeah, it's never latched. I don't like these containers. I think they're wonky. So, I'll go and get the flour and be back. Wait, no. I have to get the shortening now, which is the butter. We got to do this in order. So we got the sugar, now we have to get the butter. Okay, so I've got 2 sticks of butter, but the recipe calls for a half of a cup. Well, 1 stick is a half a cup. So I'm just gonna peel these off. Open here, cha-cha-cha. You can see how soft they are. I'm afraid to squeeze them too hard because they might end up squeezing and making a big old mess. And if you know anything about me, I don't like to be greasy and messy. I like to play in the dirt, but I do not like to be greasy and messy. So, there's 1 stick. And I don't have the garbage over here, it's over there. And then I'm doing this in my hand just so you can see it. There's 2 sticks. And we made a mess and slopped some on the side of the bowl. Okay, and then it calls for 2 eggs. I went ahead and paused you for a second so I could throw away that butter wrapper. So we got 2 eggs. We're doubling this, remember, that's why I just put 2 sticks in. It only calls for half of a cup of butter. That's 1 stick. So 2 eggs. I'm doubling it. We're going to put 4 in. Now you can't feed butter because it's a grease to worms. So I had to throw those wrappers away. But the eggshells, on the other hand, if you guys have been watching me for any kind of period of time, you know that nothing in this house goes to waste. We reuse it, repurpose it. There we go. So the eggshells will go to the worms. Okay, now I have to go get the rag and wipe my hands off because I don't like to be slimy either. So, we got the eggs. Here's my rag. Go ahead and just tuck it right here on this handle. All right. And then 3 bananas. Oh, I should have left that. Hang on. Leave this container over here because I'm also going to put the banana shells in this container. But if I would have been thinking, I have this handy dandy container here that we keep the eggshells in. So we'll drop them in here. Because they'll get crushed up and then I'll bake them and then we'll feed them to the worms. And that's like as a grit. Because worms need grit too. It's kind of like calcium. Okay, so now we're going to put the 3 bananas in. Again, we're doubling it. The peels go to the worms as well. So just remember that. See if I can get these apart. I might actually have to get the scissors if I can't get them to peel. My grandma used to use a knife when we made this as kids. And she'd make a slit down the center of the banana. And hopefully you can see this. There we go. And then she would drop them in to the bowl. And you probably can't see that. There you go. So that's what we're doing. We're peeling it and dropping it in the bowl. We'll do that with all 6 of the bananas. Remember, the recipe calls for 3, but we're doubling it. So, I'll pause you and get all of these bananas in, because they're kind of hard to get off of the stem now that they're dried. So I will get these bananas in and come right back. And actually, I'll show you this since it worked a little bit easier. Grandma used to take it and find a strip and pull it down. Usually it'll peel all the way to the bottom, and that's what she would do. I got to get this hard tip off. The tips and the stems get hard as they go bad and start to spoil, but they're really not spoiling. They're just aging. And then that rolls right in there. So I'll take this next one off of the bunch here, and I'll actually show you how this just rolled. So pull a strip. Oops. And it'll just peel all the way down. And then, see if you can see it this way. I'm just peeling it. Grab both ends of it. And start to lift it. And it just rolls. Oh, this one's going to make me a liar. It didn't roll, it split. But it just rolls right out. Let's do it again. We've only got 2 bananas left, so we'll go ahead and take both of them off of the stem. There they are. All that's going in the bowl for the worms. So then, let's try this one more time. Cut the hard tip off. And I'm going to grab a hold of a piece of it. Maybe. It's not going to work that way. Okay, here we go. Peel it down. Now we're going to spin you over here. Grab both ends. You can't see that. Grab both ends of the banana, and it literally just rolls right up. So one more and we'll be done. Now it says smashed bananas, but since I'm using this blender, it's going to blend them in and it doesn't need to be smashed. Peel. Grab the ends. Open them up. It'd be a lot easier if I had a camera guy or girl to take the different positions so you could see all of this easily. Okay, now slimy hands. Wipe them on my rag here. Okay, and it says a pinch of salt, a teaspoon of baking soda, and a half a teaspoon of baking powder. So let me go ahead and stick the bananas on the counter and get the salt and baking soda and baking powder. Alright, so here's my salt. We use Himalayan sea salt, and this is fine grain. So we're just gonna maybe scoot it up so we can use it. Take a pinch. There we go. And then we gotta get the baking soda, which is right behind me. Try to get this salt back on. Okay. Itchy, itchy. Okay. 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Okay. See, I'm using the flat part of the box to make sure I get a level scoop. That's the way I was taught anyways. Alright, now that that's done, we've got to have a half a teaspoon of baking powder. So give me a second to go fetch that. Okay. Oh, this baking powder has not been opened. Let's see if I have one that's already opened. Okay, so apparently we don't have one that's not opened. Here's our baking powder, just some generic stuff. Back in the day, Grandma didn't have all kinds of name brand stuff either, so it's okay. And now, if you can see, here it was. It's got a flat part on there. The whole reason for that is so you get level scoops. So, half of a teaspoon. So we'd scoop it, and then you level it out. I guess I could have doubled the measurements and just done it that way. But I thought it would be easier for you to keep up and understand the measurements. So I did it according to the recipe, and I'm showing you that I'm just putting 2 of everything in so that you understand I'm doubling the recipe, but this is the recipe. Okay, and that's the baking powder. I still got an itch on my nose. And now it says add the flour. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a quick mix to mix it up before I add the flour. Okay, so yeah, we're just going to give it a little mix. This is probably going to be a little loud, so watch your ears. Okay, wait, I forgot the little gizmo that goes above it. Alright, there's this little gizmo that goes on it so it doesn't splatter all over. I forgot about that. Okay, put it all on there. And then we, let's see, how did he do it? He rolls it up like this. And now we just mix. I'll show you. And it doesn't splatter everything all over. So I'll let this mix a minute and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got that mixed up a little bit. And I'll show you. Looks all gooey and slimy. Just the way I remember it looking. So now we are going to add the flour last. And that's what this fancy little hole is for. I remember watching Ben use it for cookies for Christmas and Thanksgiving, but I just didn't do it. Now this one actually does seal, so I'm just going to pop it off there. Sometimes it seals. This one seals. The other one never has sealed. I don't know, it's funny like that. Okay, so the recipe calls for 1 3/4 of a cup of flour. So fill it up. Shake it level. There's 1 cup. Make a big mess all over. Yeah, make a big mess. And 3/4. See how I'm leveling it out. I don't know if you can see through that container or not. So it's level. And you stick it in the hole. There we go. And remember, I'm doing this twice, doubling the recipe. So I'll do it again. I'm going to be a mess when I'm done. I just seen I got it all over my shirt. I guess that's part of the fun of baking, right? As a kid, you don't mind getting messy and it's fun. As an adult, you don't care to get messy. It just means you got to do more darn laundry. But hey, it will be alright. And looks like going to be a tight squeeze. Because, just barely. We're about out of flour. Okay. Now that that part's done, I'm going to put this all back together. I'll go stick this on the counter so it can be refilled. Then I'll come back and I'll mix it and show you. Okay, so now that my hands are washed, now I'm going to show you, trying to turn you around. Show you there's the stuff. And now we're just going to lift the gizmo. How did I do that? Like that. And we'll mix it, I don't know, probably on 6. Started out a little slower. There we go. You don't want to blow flour all over. Now, Grandma actually used a hand mixer with the 2 little mixy things on it. And, I'll turn that off so you can hear. And I have one somewhere, but I don't know where the little mixy things are that go on it. So, that's why I am using the big gizmo. So, let me go ahead and just scrape the edges of this and make sure it's all mixed in. And I'll be right back to show you what it looks like. Alright, so it's all mixed up. I'm going to take this little gizmo off and show you a beautiful mixture. And now all I got to do is pour it into the bread pans and put it in the oven. So before I started this and I got all the ingredients and everything together, I already had preheated. I started the oven so that it could preheat. So the oven is preheated to 350 and ready to have the bread inserted. So let me go get those pans and I'll be right back. Okay, so here is a bread pan. And now I'm going to figure out how to take this off. I guess the first part we need to do is scrape the mixer. So let's go ahead and take our spoon and make sure that I should have probably used a spatula for this. Didn't really think that through, but we'll make do. Alright. Now, when I was a kid, Grandma didn't use a spatula either. She just used a spoon. Or we did when she taught us how to do it, then we would do it. And she would use a spoon. And then she'd let us lick the batter off of the mixers, which was kind of fun, but now I'm too old for that. Not really too old, I just don't eat this much banana bread. I don't eat bread very often, so let me go rinse this off and get this bowl off of this gizmo, and I'll show you how I'm pouring it in the pans. Alright, so now we're going to just basically scrape the sides. I should probably make these long wide so they're easier to pour in there. I'm just gonna pour some of it in here. Now remember, I'm using 2 pans because I doubled the recipe. You will only use 1 pan because you're only going to do 1 batch. Unless you decide to double the recipe, hey, more power to you. And I know, before you say anything, what do you mean? You're making bread and you don't eat bread? I'm making bread because I had bananas go bad. Ben likes bread. It is my grandma's recipe. And so, in order for things to not die out and be lost with time and everything, yes, I'm making banana bread. And I'm doing a video on it. And I probably will have one small piece when it's done, just so that I can try it and have that memory. But otherwise, no, I don't eat bread. Bread has flour in it, and most of the time our flour is wheat flour or corn flour when you get it from the store or other things. And the batter, this here leftover, that's what you give the kids to let them lick it out. They have a blast with that. But that tastes right. But no, flour in your gut is, flour turns to gluten. And in your gut, it's glue in your gut that's not good for you. It affects the way that your body breaks down and digests food. And I don't go out of my way to buy gluten-free flour or anything, but I don't eat a lot of bread. I just don't like the taste of it anymore. So anyway, now that I'm done ranting, these are done. I'm going to go put this bowl in the sink, and I'll show you putting it in the oven, and we'll set the timer. Alrighty. So I got them all ready. Just a second here, make you all seasick. There they are. 2 beautiful loaves of banana bread. There we go. There's a better picture. Ta-da! Alright, now, like I said, the oven is at 350. Gotta move the booby trap so I can get into the oven. Let me go ahead and give you a quick close-up of this recipe so that you can screenshot it and try it yourself. Maybe better this way. There you go. That's Grandma's old-fashioned banana bread recipe. And she actually got it from, looks like Dorothy Tooley. But this is the one Grandma used to make all the time. So, that's it there. Sorry the screen had to go sideways for you, but there it is. And you see how she had 1 teaspoon of salt and she scratched it out and put soda. You gotta make sure that you change it not to salt but to soda. You get a pinch of salt, a teaspoon of soda. And yes, down at the bottom it says that she, oh, who likes it? Dorothy Tooley. Okay, well, we all ate this, but I guess Dorothy Tooley is the one that she wrote down likes it. So now we are going to cook this for 1 hour. Okay. So, let's see if I can prop you up over here somewhere so you can, I do not have a screen for this, but just show you. Here's the oven. And I'm going to put both of them on that top rack, which is actually in the center of the oven. Cha-cha-cha. Cha-cha-cha. We're going to set the timer for 1 hour. So that means that, oh, here, cook time. Gotta go up to 1 hour. Do. All this annoying beeping. There we go. Start. Okay, hopefully I got that right. It looks like the timer's on. I'll get off of here in just 2 seconds and I'll set my clock timer too. But anyways, so this is part 1. I'll be back with a shorter video for part 2 to show you how it looks after it's cooked. So thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and share this with your friends and family, and we'll be back in an hour with part 2 and show you how it looks, let it cool, and then I will cut a piece and show you how I slap a little bit of butter on it. We got organic butter, so I'll be able to eat it with no stomach problems. And I'm going to show you guys enjoying it. And if you try this, please leave a comment below. Go ahead, give this recipe a try, and then comment on this video. Let me know how you liked it. Did you do a single batch or a double batch? I love hearing everybody's comments and seeing what you guys think of these recipes. And until then, remember, you are someone, you do matter. I love you. Thank you again for watching. We'll see you on part 2. Ciao now.